September 16, 2025. The Breakfast Club studio. The air is electric, thick with anticipation. This isn't just another morning in radio. There's a sense that something unpredictable is about to unfold, a tension that crackles beneath the surface. Dame Dash, co-founder of Rockefeller Records, is the guest of honor today. He's here, at least on paper, to discuss his new role as interim chairman of Revolt TV, a major move in the world of hip-hop business. The expectation is a celebration, a victory lap for a mogul who's never shied away from the spotlight. But with Dame, the line between business and personal is always blurred. His reputation for speaking his mind, for challenging the status quo, means that any conversation can turn into a confrontation at a moment's notice. Across from him sits Charlamagne Tha God, a radio host known for his sharp tongue and fearless questions. Charlamagne is a provocateur, someone who thrives on pushing buttons and exposing raw truths. The stage is set for more than just an interview. It's a powder keg waiting for a spark. This is not a conversation, it's a collision course. What should have been a smooth, triumphant moment for Dame quickly unravels. The energy shifts. The questions get personal, the answers get sharper, and the mood in the room grows tense. Instead of promoting his docuseries or celebrating his new partnership, Dame finds himself in the middle of a raw, unscripted battle of egos. The conversation spirals, each man refusing to back down. Dame, the unapologetic Harlem OG, and Charlamagne, the relentless media instigator, lock horns in a way that feels both inevitable and explosive. Their personalities clash, each representing a different philosophy on success, respect, and authenticity. The interview veers wildly off course, transforming into a public showdown over masculinity, respect, and what it means to be real in the industry. The audience can feel the stakes rising with every exchange. The business agenda is forgotten, buried under the weight of personal grievances and philosophical differences. Promotional materials sit untouched, irrelevant in the heat of the moment. The studio transforms into a battleground, the air thick with hostility and unresolved tension. Every word is a challenge, every response a counterpunch. This isn't just another viral moment for social media. It's a collision of philosophies, a debate that echoes far beyond the walls of the studio, sparking conversations across the culture. The promotional tour detonates in real time, and the fallout is immediate, leaving everyone in the room and everyone watching to pick up the pieces. Dame Dash wastes no time. From the moment he enters the studio, his energy is unmistakable, commanding, almost electric. He's not here to play it safe or exchange pleasantries. He's here to challenge, to provoke, and to make a statement that will echo far beyond these four walls. He locks eyes with Charlamagne and DJ Envy, his gaze unwavering, as if daring them to flinch. The air thickens with anticipation. Everyone senses something big is about to happen. "I don't think you're a proper representation of the masculine black man," Dame says, his voice calm but every word sharp as a blade. It's not just a critique, it's a direct challenge to Charlamagne's identity, his place in the culture, and the values he stands for. In hip-hop, authenticity and masculinity aren't just buzzwords. They're the very foundation of respect and influence. Dame's words cut deep, striking at the heart of what it means to be a man in this world. His attack isn't just personal, it's cultural, questioning the unwritten rules that govern the industry. Drawing a bold line in the sand, Dame declares, "Your OG is Wendy Williams. My OG is right here." He's not just talking about mentors, he's talking about lineage, about who you choose to model yourself after, and what that says about your values. The implication is clear and cutting. In Dame's eyes, Charlamagne's roots are tangled in the world of gossip and sensationalism, a space Dame associates with femininity, with drama, with a lack of the hard-edged authenticity he prizes. Dame's move is deliberate, almost surgical. He's not just undermining Charlamagne's authority, he's questioning his right to speak for the culture at all. It's a power play, and everyone in the room feels the shift. How can you speak on the culture? Dame seems to ask. If your foundation is compromised. The tension is palpable. The room, once filled with casual banter, now feels like a battleground. For once, Charlamagne, usually the one asking the tough questions, is on the defensive. He's forced to reflect, to justify his journey, his choices, and the path that brought him here. The interview pivots sharply. It's no longer about Dame's projects or his legacy. Now the spotlight is on Charlamagne's character, his credibility, and his claim to cultural authority. Dame's opening salvo has completely flipped the script. He's seized control of the narrative, forcing everyone to play by his rules. What started as a routine interview has become a referendum on manhood, authenticity, and what it truly means to have credibility in hip-hop. The battle lines are drawn, and the conversation is just getting started. Dame Dash keeps hammering the Wendy Williams connection. "You started in gossip," he repeats, framing Charlamagne's early career as a stain, not a stepping stone. Dame insists Charlamagne's style is born from a feminine school of thought. Charlamagne tries to distance himself, denying Williams as his OG. But Dame won't let go, forcing Charlamagne into a rhetorical trap. Disrespect your former boss or accept Dame's framing. The argument over OG is about narrative control. Dame's message: you are who you come from, and you come from gossip. He paints himself as a builder, Charlamagne as a profiteer of drama. The Wendy Williams link becomes a symbol for everything Dame opposes. Dame uses it relentlessly, keeping the conversation anchored to his accusation of inauthenticity. The personal becomes the weapon. Dame escalates. The energy in the studio shifts palpably, tension thickening the air as voices rise and eyes dart around the room. Dame's tone is sharp, his words cutting through the usual banter with a seriousness that demands attention. The conversation, which started as a heated debate about industry politics, suddenly veers into deeply personal territory. "It ain't no disrespect, but I kinda think you're gay." The studio falls silent. The words hang in the air, heavy and loaded, as everyone processes the accusation. For a moment, it feels like time stops. No one quite knows how to react. This is no longer about career paths. It's personal. The interview has crossed a line, moving from professional disagreements to intimate, potentially damaging territory. The discomfort is visible, with guests shifting in their seats and producers exchanging worried glances behind the glass. Charlamagne, married with children, denies it. He's quick to defend himself, referencing his family and his public persona. But Dame doubles down, refusing to let the moment pass or to soften his stance. "I got a problem with people that pretend they're not gay. I think it's dishonest," Dame says, his voice unwavering. He frames his accusation as a matter of principle, not just a personal attack. Men that are gay should say they're gay. Dame's words echo through the studio, challenging not just Charlamagne, but anyone listening who might feel targeted by such a statement. Dame tries to spin his accusation as a call for honesty, but it's a loaded, problematic pivot. He claims he's advocating for transparency, but the subtext is clear. He's using sexuality as a weapon, putting Charlamagne on the defensive in front of millions. Charlamagne insists he's not gay. He repeats himself, his voice growing more frustrated, but Dame won't let up. Dame retorts, "You are!" The exchange grows more heated, with both men digging in their heels. Dame cites Charlamagne's focus on other men's bodies as evidence. He points to past comments and interview moments, twisting them to fit his narrative. The logic is flimsy, but the accusation is relentless. "Real masculine men don't do that," Dame declares, policing masculinity on the fly. He draws a hard line, suggesting that certain behaviors are incompatible with being a real man, reinforcing outdated stereotypes in real time. The confrontation blurs lines between authenticity and homophobia. What started as a challenge to be honest quickly morphs into a public shaming, with Dame using the language of realness to justify his attack. Dame weaponizes sexuality, forcing a public debate on what topics are masculine. The conversation becomes a spectacle, with listeners and viewers drawn in by the drama, but also left questioning the boundaries of respect and decency. The interview hits a point of no return. There's no going back to the original topic. The dynamic has shifted irreversibly. Both men are now fighting for their reputations, and the audience can feel the stakes rising. The moment is messy, offensive, and magnetic. It's the kind of exchange that will be replayed, dissected, and debated long after the cameras stop rolling. Whether Dame is seen as a truth-teller or a bully, the stakes are now deeply personal. The culture is watching, and the fallout from this confrontation will ripple far beyond the studio walls, sparking conversations about masculinity, honesty, and the power and danger of public accusation. The verbal sparring turns physical, at least in threat. Charlamagne mocks Dame as a Harlem auntie. Dame's demeanor shifts. "I could punch you right in your face like a grown man and you won't do ST," Dame threatens. The threat is real, not hypothetical. Dame draws a line. In his world, words have consequences. "If we was on the street, I would have F'd you up," he says. For Dame, masculinity is enforced through confrontation. Charlamagne stands his ground, and we would fight. The standoff is primal, street credibility versus media savvy. Dame nearly walks out saying, "Your version of respectful is different from mine." Charlamagne goads him to stay, knowing a walkout is a win. The threat of violence exposes the raw nerve at the heart of their conflict. Respect and its consequences are on full display. Dame digs into Charlemagne's past for more ammunition. He brings up the 2012 incident where Charlamagne ran from attackers outside the station. "I'd rather get my whipped than run, but you're proud you ran," Dame mocks. Dame contrasts this with his own story. "Ask what happened when 30 guys jumped me? I got that a whooping, but I fought back." For Dame, running is the ultimate failure of masculinity. He uses Charlemagne's real-life trauma as a rhetorical weapon. Charlamagne deflects with humor. "I think it's been some head trauma ever since." Dame uses brute force and shaming. Charlamagne uses wit to disarm. The past isn't just memory, it's ammunition. The ghosts of old battles haunt the present. Lost in the chaos is Dame's real reason for being there: business. He announces his new role as interim chairman of Revolt TV, a one-month appointment with big ambitions. Dame's criticisms of Charlamagne double as a declaration of war on the current media landscape. He hints at acquiring Revolt, promising a more authentic vision. Dame disputes 50 Cent's claims about and announces his own docuseries for Revolt. This is about reclaiming legacy and controlling the narrative. The interview becomes a strategic, if chaotic, branding exercise. Dame uses the confrontation to define his leadership at Revolt. The beef is personal, but it's also business. Dame Dash is making his mark, right on his rival's turf. The interview explodes online. Dame and Charlamagne trend everywhere. Clips become memes, gifs, viral quotes. Charlemagne's shocked face, Dame's threats, Harlem auntie, all immortalized. The internet debates realness versus composure, masculinity versus media savvy. Commentary channels and podcasts dissect every moment. The spectacle sparks real conversations about masculinity, respect, and boundaries. The interview becomes a cultural touchstone, reaching far beyond radio listeners. Nuance is lost, but the impact is undeniable. A personal conflict becomes global entertainment. The Dame-Charlamagne clash is more than radio drama. It's a mirror for Black media and the ongoing debate over masculinity and authenticity. Dame represents the old guard, street honor, toughness, legacy. Charlamagne is the new media, verbal, provocative, influential. Their battle is about which version of manhood and power matters in 2025. The spat forces uncomfortable questions about authenticity, respect, and the policing of masculinity. There are no easy answers, just a messy, personal reflection of cultural identity. The viral moment is a public play about the anxieties and contradictions at the heart of the culture. The conversation is far from over.